Oh, breaking news.
In game real time, it's hard to make that bang bang call 100%.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Sliders, your go to show for all things MLB, with a special eye on the Blue Jays and the Giants. We're back after a short break last week, and there's a lot to catch up on. Today's episode, we're diving into the teams gearing up to buy at the trade deadline, what moves could shake up the playoff race, and of course, we've got our updates for Jays and Giants. I'm Almar, and right here next to me is my co host Armando. Let's talk baseball.
Let's go around the bases with this week's updates.
around the bases.
Omar, we'll start with one of the best headlines of the season, not just this week, but there's been a lot of talk surrounding um, Cal Relayed from catcher from the Sierra Mariners. He's having statistically one of the best seasons we have seen in a very long time. And also Aaron Judge is another historic pace. So right now those two are going neck to neck, and especially in the American League MVP. Omar, make your case for Cal being the MVP.
All right, let's talk about Kyle Riley here, Armando, because at this point, I think we need to open an investigation on him. The man has 30, the man has 32 home runs and 69 RBIs right now, and we're only at the halfway mark of the season. That kind of power is absurd, especially coming from a catcher position. I mean, this isn't a corner outfielder or a DH. This is your backstop dropping bombs on a regular basis. Now, look, I'm not taking anything away from Aaron Judge. He's doing what he does with 28 home runs and 62 RBIs. Another elite here. But when you've got a catcher putting up those kinds of numbers while also helping guide the pitching staff and doing it all for Mariners team that is in the thick of playoff race. I don't know. To me, Cal Riley deserves serious MVP love right now. He's not just having a breakout season; he's changing the game behind the plate, Armando.
I'm with you. I think right now I wouldn't be upset if he actually, if the season ended right now, and if he would have won, Cal would have won the MVP. I wouldn't be upset right now. Arguably, catcher is the hardest position. Position. You have to manage the defense. You have to manage the pitching staff, relievers. You have to know the pitching scouting reports on every lineup. So, like, yes, there is a lot of things. Cal is having a breakout season, like you said, 32 home runs. He's only behind a couple people. Babe Ruth, with I think at the All Star break, at the 81 games mark, Babe Ruth had 34, Mark McGwire had 35. No, 37, and Barry Bonds had 39 home runs at the All Star break. So this is pretty impressive what he's doing. Uh, he is on pace to be. He's on pace to having the best catcher season uh, behind Mike Piazza 1997 season. So to me, like, yeah, the number speaks to himself, and I think like we see it in every sport with Joker, Connor McDavid, even like the quarterbacks, you get fatigue of those players because you expect them, right? So it's not that Judge is having a bad season. It's just like we've seen this before, so we expect it. So when a new player comes out, like it's you can might say like, well, yeah, baseball fans have Aaron Judge fatigue, or right, voters have fatigue of them, right? But anyways, I like you said, they're in the mix of a playoff run. This is a great season that he's having.
Yeah, I totally agree with this one. I won't be surprised if he gets voted as MVP in the AL. But again, Judge will be right up there
Oh
with
yeah,
him.
agree.
They're neck and neck, so it'll be close. But my vote will be with Cal. with this one, especially on the at the position that he's playing.
Correct, correct. All right, with the second topic, we're at the halfway point of the season. A lot of people think that the All Star means that it's halfway, but it actually happens right before the All Star break. 81 games into the seasons, and now we're talking about the trade deadline, which is happening July 9th. It's just around the corner. Omar, which teams needs to, in your opinion, needs to make a move before the trade deadline?
So, all right, I'll dive into the Blue Jays a little later here in the show, Armando. But let's stick with the American League for a second. Outside of Toronto, one team I'm keeping a close eye on is, like I said, it's the Seattle Mariners. They've got a solid pitching rotation, no doubt about that. We all know that. Everyone knows that. But if they want to stay in the playoff race and give Kyle Riley some help, they need to add more power to this lineup. Kyle's been carrying a huge load offensively, and while he's been incredible, it's a lot to ask from a catcher to maintain that kind of pace throughout the dog days of summer. We know that
Yeah.
Armando, the bats around him need to step out, or the front office needs to go out and get some help. Another team I'm watching, the Los Angeles Angels, they have to make a move. You cannot keep wasting Mike Trout's prime years like this. It's just brutal to watch. And over in the National League, how about the St. Louis Cardinals? We didn't expect them to be in the thick of this race, but here they are. This is a franchise that knows how to heat up in the second half, and I wouldn't be surprised one bit if they add a ban or a pitching at the trade deadline to make another serious push here. Don't sleep on them. We've seen this story before from them. So those are my takes for who which teams are looking to add at the deadline here.
Right. No, good point. So you're right about the Cardinals. No one really expecting them to be in the mix of things, right? So obviously, I'm gonna get away the obvious ones, the Dodgers. If if they can't get their pitching starting rotation back healthy in order for the second half or playoff, they need to make a they need to make a trade for starting pitchers plural, and one of them could be because Boston seems to be selling. They're a seller. Whoever, whatever's going on with the organization, they're sellers, and there's a lot of trade rumors about they're pretty much cleaning house. So Bueller might be able to return back to the Dodgers. So, but we'll see. The Mets, they seems to figure out things now. Soto's hitting now, like he seems more comfortable now, and he's on pace to have a great season, second half of the season. So if if they want to continue this pace that they're on because they had a stumble, there could be another team. But I'm gonna say, in my opinion, the team that needs to make is the Toronto Blue Jays. Uh, Not because it's our podcast, but I just think this is a team that everybody expected. On paper, they should be a playoff team, and they're showing now that this is a serious team, and they're competing against every team. I think they need to make a trade, and I think they need to go for starting rotation. There's a lot of teams that are, especially like Arizona Diamondbacks with Zach Geller. He's in his last year of his contract. And Kelly also from the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are not going anywhere. They need to dump some salary caps. I can see. I hope that they could reach out to the Diamondbacks and make a trade for because they have the starting rotation that the Blue Jays need. But I'm going to say one more thing
Yeah, I
before.
totally agree with.
I think obviously we have. I'm going to say the team that obviously there's always the Marlins, the White Sox, and now the Baltimore Orioles because their season, the way the season has gone on. Uh, those are the teams that are just kind of like always sellers, right? But I'm gonna say the Marlins need to build up for next year. They have a young, rough. a greedy team. They're only 6 games behind the third wild card spot. So I think like they should not be sellers. They should actually be trading and be prepared for next season. But we'll see. It's also we talked about a couple weeks ago. There's always those franchises that they never get figure out things, and they're always selling out their talent. So, but that's in my opinion.
Yep, I'll touch base with Toronto Blue Jays, and I totally agree with you with this one. They need to make a push, not only to just make the playoffs, but they're only sitting 3.5 games back on AL East with the Yankees. So if we're talking about playoffs, why not make a push for that AL East title, right? So
Correct.
I
Yeah.
agree. I have a question here, which since we're talking about pitching rotation there's a lot of noise about Jacob deGrom and his availability. Do you think he goes somewhere like the Mets or maybe the Blue Jays?
I I think that Texas is one of those teams that they'll probably be sellers. They are under 500. They're 8 games behind the Astros. I think they will probably make some moves. Um, I think Texas will be trading some starting pitchers. I'm not sure about Jacob DeGrom unless someone's really are going to be paying off a big luxury, all right? So,
Yeah,
but I think some of the others starting pitchers are available for trade.
yeah, those bubble teams. It's just tough right now because we have like three wild card teams now, and everyone's bunched up. So we'll see closer to the deadline. But yeah, Jacob deGrom's been surfacing around, so that's why I
Yeah,
asked.
and he made his return, and he's had a couple solid starts the last two starts. So he looks like the Gronk that we know. So that's I don't. Those are the teams like the Marlins. I think some teams need to be making moves for next season, rebuilding, making a push for next season, right? So I think I would consider Texas one of those teams that like don't sell but make some trades for to help you next season. So um,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, one name, unfortunately, he got injured was Chris Sale of the Atlanta Braves. They're sitting seven back from the wild card race here. So if he wasn't injured, he'd probably be gone
yeah, I think so
in
too.
Atlanta.
Just
But
because
he's
the way the season has gone for them, right? So
yeah, that's the one name to monitor. DeGrom and Chris Sale. Those are the big names that we can monitor around the trade deadline.
perfect. Well, we will monitor in the next couple of weeks. Let's get into our last topic, and this is just kind of like, I guess, sad, angry topic. But a 22-year-old fan has been banned immediately from all Major League Baseball parks after yelling rude remarks to Arizona Diamondbacks second baseman Catel Martel on Tuesday night's game. He was making comments about his mom, Martel's mom, that died in 2017 from a car accident, and they show Martel's breaking down in tears. So we talked about fans before. They ruin it for some baseball fans. What is your opinion on this?
Look, I gotta address something that's been circulating, and honestly, it's frustrating to even have to say this. For anyone out there criticizing Ketel Marte for getting emotional on the field after a fan made a disgusting comment about his recently deceased mother, seriously, Armando, they need to get a life.
Yeah,
We've said it time and time again. There's a line that fans should never cross. You want to boo a player, fine. Heckle a guy for striking out, go ahead. That's part of the game, but when you start hurling personal attacks, derogatory remarks, racial slurs, or anything that targets a family member, especially someone who just lost a loved one, that's where it stops. There's no place for that in sports. Period. Respect the human being.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like we've talked about it before, and look at fans crossing the line. But to me, I'm glad that the Chicago White Sox the following day on the jumbotron they put out they support Martel, and I'm glad the Major League, in general, the Major League fans, media, they all supported Martel. They wrapped around their arms around him. But my thing is, I think the only thing that bothers me is like, where are the fans around him? Like, it's kind of like, I'm not sure. Um, I can only speak for Giants fans, right? So like when there's something going on, like Giants fans will say like, "Hey, sit down," right? Like we don't do that. We like, where are the fans around this fan who was yelling? Like no one around was willing to stand up and say, "Hey, like there's family here. This is a family event. Like why are you?" No one really said anything about like stopping him, right? So like I think like
Well,
my thing is like the fans around him. Like I would have said something like, "Hey, knock it off," right? So that's
yeah, but how many fans are there in the White House? But how many fans were watching? So, so might be like 10 seats 10 seats apart, right? So,
yeah,
but yeah, totally agree with you there. Someone should have said something, but we didn't. We don't know about it.
yeah,
We weren't there, so we can only speculate
yeah.
on
And the
things.
thing is, like, he's only 22 years old, so you can tell there's immaturity there. He's young. He made a mistake, but still, like, um, I like to go to a game to enjoy, right? So I like to heckle like some like striking out, right? Like or making an error, but not to that degree. So that's crossing the line, and I'm glad he's been banned for life.
Yeah, true. Yeah, good on Major League Baseball, and like you said, good on the Chicago White Sox to support Ketel Marte on this one and the team.
Correct. Well, that is it for around the bases. Let's get into our Giants and Blue Jays update. If you like this content, please subscribe, follow, and like. It will help our channel grow. Thank you.
Giants, Blue Jays.
Well, Omar, Giants fans are pissed off this morning. They are mad. We're mad. I'm mad. We just got swept by the Marlins. Uh, Giants has lost 8 of the last 10 to the Dodgers, Guardians, and now the Marlins. They're just there's just a lot of weird stuff, and Giants fans are just kind of like upset. Like, when is this team going to wake up? They have a chance to do something special for this season, and they just kind of seems to just not. There just seems either they're breaking down under the pressure, or they just can't, or they're not taking it seriously because they're not putting it all together. So yeah, there's been a lot of going things, and one of the things is the offense. Cold bats. Let's talk about just the cold bats, right? So like John Ho Lee, he's been kind of criticized right now. He's actually at one point he was batting 300, and now he's moved down to like seventh on the lineup. He's not leading off no more. Just cold bats. We talked about like Korean players coming over, taking them adjustment. It seems like the league has adjusted and he can't figure it out. Um, Adames, he's been turning out lately, but he's still trying to figure it out. Chapman was figuring out. Um, even Devers, he's obviously when you come to a new team, there's struggles. So he's struggling, and just Patrick Bailey, he's batting eighth, and they're questioning him. Like there's just a lot of just the cold bats they have had against the Marlins on Tuesday night. They had 5 hits. 5 hits when the Marlins, uh, under 500 team, are they got 13 hits. Like right, so like this Giants team should be a lot better. And this offensive woes have been way too long now. The Giants have the best starting pitchers. They have the best reliever in the major leagues, and they're starting to get fatigued because they have to pitch out lights out. And right now they're hurting the bullpen because you cannot expect them to go put up zeros all the time. They're gonna get fatigued, and that's what's happening right now. So right now the offense is just weird. Like it's just like it's a weird season right now. And another thing is that um, Matt Williams, our third base coach, and I've never seen a third base coach come in under so much fire like he has, but he's actually has cost the Giants some games, some runs. He's been criticized for not sending a runner when they had an opportunity. He's been criticized for, and it happened this week. Uh, John Hu Lee was on third base. Um, One out. We're like, oh man, like it's the bottom of the ninth. Like, oh cool. Like we're gonna win this game, right? It's gonna be a walk off. He sends Yahoo Lee on a very shallow ball, and he Matt Williams sends him, and he gets thrown out like halfway. Like it's like everybody knows. Everybody, I was like, oh cool, like they're only one out and run on third. Even the announcers were shocked. Everybody was like, oh, Young Julio's gonna stay on third, but no, you see Matt Williams sending him, and he gets called out in and over, kills the momentum. So, and this is about 6 times in the last month. This is just I'm just giving the latest one. So, I think with all the recent moves that this has happened, making a trade like the diverse trade, it has put a lot of pressure on the coaching staff right now. Because let's not forget Matt Williams and above Melvin. This they only signed a 3-year contract, and this is their last year. So I think they're showing a lot. It's not just pressure on the players, but it's pressure on the coaching staff that they're like the organization say we believe in you. We're giving you the tools. It's time to go. It's time to perform, and that it's not, they're not um, living up to what the expectations are right now. What is your thoughts on those recent offensive woes and just like pressure and just weird things happening?
Yeah, we'll start with the Rafael Devers trade. It signals that it's go time now, right? There's no play around now. It's really go time. So I think the pressure of it's coming in, but coming before this series with Miami and Chicago, everyone was talking how many
Yeah.
wins would the Giants have. I was like, at least 4 out of 6. But now you got swept by Miami. The last thing you would want is not sweeping the White Sox. Like, look at your schedule. After the White Sox, you have Arizona and the A's. You have to get this
Yes.
because after that you have the Phillies and the LA
This
Dodgers.
was go
So if you
time.
have a
Yes.
chance,
And
yeah,
it's
if
been
you have to,
happening. It's been happening all season. They when they face a top team, they face they can build themselves up to play to that level. But then like we have the Giants are struggling against bad teams, and that's when it's been so frustrating. It's been frustrated against the Marlins team because I think we only have one win against out of the 6 games against the Rockies. We only have one win. Like this is like, and we have struggled like against the last road trip we were at the Marlins. We struggle against the Marlins as well. We just they cannot seem to play to their potential against bad teams. The teams that they need to beat, they're just not beating them. And I heard it all week before the Marlins because I had a day off. Um, After a Monday off, and everybody was talking how many wins can they pick up. It's like everybody saying like because they put up some big runs against the Boston, and we were like, okay, like they should be able to sweep both of those streams, and we got the opposite. So it's very frustrating. And let me just tell you, Sean Jelly, a reliever pitcher, he's been accused of domestic violence by his wife. I guess they've been separated. We're not here to judge. We're not the law enforcement, whatever. But this is kind of the destruction that is happening to this ballpark, to this team right now. He got sit he got sit for a couple of games because the news broke out. He pitched the last two games, and today he actually been sent back to AAA because there's just too much distraction, and that's kind of like what's happening right now. There's a lot of distractions happening when they should be just focused on baseball, but it's just like all the players was kind of like they were answering about the trade, Devers and Roxon, Matt Williams, offensive woes, injuries. So there's just a lot going on right now.
Yeah, that's those are the negative stuff that the any team doesn't like, especially if when your players are getting asked those questions and they don't know what to answer, right? So hopefully that gets resolved, and we're not, like you said, we're not here to judge. We're just we're just we're just reading the news,
Right.
right? Right in front of us, right? So yeah, back to that segment with you and the struggles with your lineup. I think it gets figured out. It'll get figured out sooner than later with Matt Chapman coming back, and then you can like stack your lineup accordingly with Devers. Right now, it's just like a feel it moment right now. Where would you put Devers in the lineup and everything? But you gotta do it here with Chicago, Arizona, and Athletics, right? So
Yeah.
if you can figure it out, you'll slip right on the bottom of the standings right quick, and you don't want that.
Correct. Right. So I think we're tied for the third wild card right now. According to last night, right before the Giants lost. Yeah. And well, let's talk about let's there's also some positive notes. I'm just gonna be like I just kind of like that's what is going on with this team. But like one of the positive notes is Casey Smith. I talked about him in the spring training, how he's been a true professional. He was the Giants top prospect for third base, but then like obviously the Chapman trade and adding Willie Adames and like he just kind of worked hard and he's been rewarded. With all the injuries, he's batting since Matt Chapman's injury. He's been batting over 400. He has some home runs. Been just a seller in this lineup. But now with no one knows when Chapman's going to come back, but they're saying like when he comes back, or what do the Giants do with Casey Smith because he's too hot to be sit down, to be on the bench. He's too hot to be sent back to AAA. So one of the things is that Fitzpatrick, our second baseman, rookie last year, he showed a lot of flash. He steals bases for the Giants. He's been sent down to AAA just because of his offensive woes. Bosey and this regime are giving the players enough chances to turn their season around, but it kind of seems like if you can't turn it around, we have to make a move, and they send them now. So right now, Casey Smith, like, can he play second? That's the thing. Like right now, it's kind of like the obvious. Well, he's not going to be playing third. He's not going to be playing short. He's not going to be playing first because he's hitting grounders uh, during batting practice, right? So like the only option is second base, but he's not a natural second baseman. So we'll see what happens. They also called up like Wisely, the second baseman from AAA. So we'll see. But at this point, you cannot sit him down. It's like he's too good. He has some monster home runs against the Dodgers and against the Sox and Marlins. He's been one of the positive things in the lineup, right? So you can't sit him down. So what do you think of that? Of that?
Yeah, right now, because of Matt Chapman's injury, he's playing at the third base, and
He's
when
doing great. He's
um
playing great,
yeah,
right? So
and what you're saying is you can send him down if he's just in like at the bench, then it's not helping really much on your team. If you move him to second base, which he hasn't played much off, and then you have Devers there. That your right side of the infield will suffer, right? You don't have someone like a Matt Chapman who can protect him
Yeah.
if he falters there. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You, it's hard. It's hard right
Yeah.
now. But I won't send him. I won't send him down. But yeah, you need him. You need his bat. Maybe he can just pinch hit here and there. Maybe start playing second base, like practice
Yeah.
second base right
So
now and see how it
yeah, the
goes.
team
Yeah.
hasn't announced, but I think that's what everybody's just assuming, right? So, but it's like, yeah, like the third baseman is covered. Shortstop and first base with Devers and Wilmer Flores and Smith and those are the three players that are kind of rotating first base and DH. You can't set so the only position they haven't announced, but everybody's just kind of assuming, and I hope he does because he's been putting in the work and it's showing off, and I hope he gets rewarded, right? So, um, and another news, it's All Star break coming. Everybody's excited. Everybody kind of said like, oh, how many players will be representing their each organization. So right now, Giants in the last couple of years have had one or two, right? So, but now the Giants have at least four players that could be representing an All Star. One of them is Robbie Ray with 8 wings. Uh, Two relievers. One of them is Tyler Rogers, who is just lights out in the eighth inning, and another one is actually Randy Rodriguez. He's just been a revelation this year. 35 innings pitch, uh, an ERA of .77. That's just lights out. He has 51 strikeouts in the season for only like 35 innings pitched. So that's amazing. Relievers don't get much attention in the All Star just because they're not starting pitchers. It's hard for relievers pitchers to make the All Star, right? So the Giants have arguably two relievers that they have a chance to make the All Star, and the last one, oh, and also he made the last All Star last year. Hold on, Heli Ramos. Um, I think, and we'll talk about it next week in our All Star debates. But I think Heli Ramos not only deserves to go, but I think he should be starting left field over Hernandez. Little preview. That's just my my take.
A
Um,
little bit bias, a little bit biased there,
no,
Armando.
it's not a homer. It's not a homer, right? But when you look at he's batting 283, 13 home runs, 44 RBIs, OPS of 825. He's not a strike. He doesn't. It's hard for him to strike out. Yeah. So where let's just say the Dodgers left fielder, either it's a home run or a strikeout. I'm just saying. But that's a preview for next
we we
season. I mean,
we
next
already
week.
we already know that about the Oscar Hernandez. It's all in or all nothing, right? But yeah, you make
Exactly.
a good
So,
you make a good case, but it's the people who are voting.
Alright. Okay, the last person that I think that so five players could be in the last one that I think is Logan Webb. He's making a case for not just to make the All Star roster, but to be the starter. Um, he is fifth in strikeouts. I talked about he's turned into a strikeout machine. Um, his records does not show like it's 5-7 just because of they just are not scoring runs for him when he pitches. But his ERA like 2.52, ninth in the league, fifth in strikeouts. Month of June he went five quality starts, 34 in his pitch, um, 36 strikeouts in the May with like get this only 6 walks in the month of June. Like that's That's impressive. I think he has a chance. A lot of Giants fans, medians are making the case that he should be the starter for the All Star.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways,
Looking at
what's
it,
your thoughts on that?
120 strikeouts right now with Logan Webb. Between him and Robbie Ray, you already have 15 wins. So,
Yeah.
like I said, if only the Giants can score them runs, it could have been more, right? So yeah.
If only, right?
So, but yeah, yeah. So yeah, pretty happy that there's a lot of Giants that are in consideration for the All Star break here, for the All Star game here, especially for Robbie Ray and Logan Webb, who's been tremendous this season for the Giants.
Yeah. So, anyways, that is it for my Giants update. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, the bats can wake up. Hopefully, the pitching can continue, and hopefully, the Giants coaching staff can rally their team and rally themselves because it's go time because they're in the midst of things and you do not, like you said, you do not want to fall behind, especially in a very competitive National League West and very competitive wild card races, which teams that like
Yeah,
the Cardinals, like you said, like they're coming out of nowhere.
since we're on the topic of adding during the trade deadline, if Buster Posey decides to like buy, what addition does the Giant need right now?
I think they're not done. I don't think the Giants are done at from the trade deadline. I think they need to address their once again the Giants are very hush hush on Matt Chapman's injury. They said it was going to be a 10-day, turned out to 30 days. They're saying maybe at the after the Athletic series, so maybe 3 more weeks, right? So they're very hush hush. So they could be addressing second base. And another thing, so it's offensive bat and defense. That's why this team, Buster Posey, he built this team on pitching and defense. So and the offense of the Wolves, right? It's been happening for too long now. So I think they things they could be addressed is second base, um, which there's a really good candidates. And the other one is you hate to say this because he's such a good catcher, and you hate to say because he's a Gold Glove, but he's batting under. Our catcher is he's batting under 100 right now. Like he's batting around the 100 mark, and that's just it's hard to stick in the majors when with with that kind of production. So I don't think, as much as he's so good, talented, I don't think the Giants have enough patience to, as much as he controls the pitching staff, he's great defensively, but he needs to pick it up on offensively. Or so that's what I think. I think a catcher and a second base.
Yeah, because I saw an article that's linking your Giants to second baseman, shortstop of Pittsburgh Pirates, which is Isaiah Kiner Falefa, who was playing with the Jays last
Oh, okay.
season. So I'm not sure if the credibility on that news, but the Giants were being linked to him.
Yeah, I don't think like you're asking me. I don't think they're done. I think they're gonna make another move, and it's gonna be a splash hit. Uh, I've been hearing, they could make another trade with Boston. We'll see if that's true. But I just some offensive. I'm not sure if this is true, but I've heard of Jerry Duran, outfielder of Boston. That's where they kind of like it's been picking up like a noise, but it's kind of like, well, we have a quite a bit of outfielders, but with the recent struggles of Young Hoo Lee, maybe you make a move like that and maybe give Young Hoo Lee some rest. But anyways, that's just what I've been hearing. So another person that I've been hearing is a second baseman. Um, I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what I've been hearing. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, Armando, you want some chaos? You want some chaos, and you talk about Boston, right?
what's up?
And with Matt Chapman getting injured, and we don't know, you Giants don't know when Matt Chapman is coming back. How about trade for third baseman Alex Bregman?
That's hilarious. I'm actually surprised that the Boston is trading shopping him.
Like I said, if you want chaos, you were talking about Boston. Maybe try trading for Alex Bregman and see how it goes with with Rafael Devers there, hey?
Yeah, they can fight for it. Who plays third base? Oh man, that's so funny. No, I think that another infielder that has been linked to is Luis Araya, second baseman from the A's. So I think they're. I'm not sure if I like. I'm not sure about Duncan from the outfielder from the Red Sox, but that's what ESPN is saying that they're being linked to. But we'll see. But I definitely know that their Giants are not done. I think they're going to make another move. So, anyways, that is it for the Giants update. Hopefully, I can bring a little bit more positive next week. But I'll turn it over to you for the Blue Jays update.
All right, let's talk about the Blue Jays. And seriously, what the hell was that? Losing a weekend series at home to the Chicago White Sox. That is simply unacceptable. If the Jays want to be taken seriously as contenders this season, they have to start acting like it. Getting blown out in game one and then dropping the rubber match to one of the worst team in baseball. Yeah, that's the kind of series you look back on in September and October and say, we should have had that, right, Armando? And
Yeah.
thankfully, they bounced back nicely against the Cleveland Guardians, taking 2 of 3 on the road. A much needed response from this team. And hey, here's some good news. Max Scherzer finally made his Blue Jays debut. Um, a little rust from Mad Max after coming off the IL with that thumb injury, but he gave you Mad Max gave us five innings, allowed 3 earned runs on 6 hits, walked 3 and struck out 4. Nothing spectacular, but definitely something to build on as the Jays can now start looking in that 5-man rotation. Like I said before, keep your eyes on Toronto as we approach the trade deadline. They're going to be buyers. Pitching is priority number one, both in the rotation and the bullpen. Don't be shocked if the Jays go after another legit closer with, to pair with or push Jeff Hoffman, who's been shaky at best this season.
Mm.
This is a team with pieces to make a run. Now it's about tightening up the weak spots before it's too late. Those are the things that the Jays need. I believe bullpen is much needed, and if we can find like a bottom starter, like a three to five starter there, that would help. But the bullpen needs help because that's what's been struggling this season.
Well, thanks for the update on the White Sox. It doesn't give me much
Yeah,
confidence that the Giants are facing them.
yeah. It's like Friday night. They got they got sheltered by the White Sox, which like what's going on here? And then they won the Saturday game, and then they lost the Sunday. Like you should sweep these teams at least like win two out of three, right? But not lose the series.
Oh
But
man, I'm gonna be pissed next week if the Giants lose that series against the White Sox.
we won't have a good podcast next week if that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the White Sox is still even if they're like playing poorly, they're still a major league team. There's still some pride
Oh
here,
yeah, they're
but
sure. Yeah.
but but our Blue Jays and the Giants are more superior than this team. So why lose the series? Why get swept by the Marlins? It
I
can
think it's because
happen.
they. I think when at least well, let me speak from the Giants' perspective. Marlins didn't have anything to lose. They're playing loose. They're being aggressive on the base running. They're more relaxed at the batter's box, right? They know they're not supposed to win, so they can just play base with all this freedom, right? And so, and you can tell because the Giants' offense, like they're a little tighter, they're not as crisp in running the bases, right? Like, and you know when there's one makes an error on the field, it just snowballs, right? Like it's contagious, you know. So, that's why I talked about the pressure that it's on this team now. So,
Yeah, when you trade for big time bat like Rafael Devers here, you can really like just relax. It's like your general manager made this move, and now it's up to the players, the managers here to make it work, right?
right. But
But yeah,
yeah,
those are my big Blue Jays update. Not much. Yeah, we were mad about that White Sox game, and fortunately, we won that Guardians game.
how's the excitement on Mats? Like,
Oh,
is there excitement for the Blue Jays fans? Like, he's making his debut. Maybe still has something left on the gas tank.
yeah, he was showing gas there. He touched like 95 there on his fastball, and then again, a great news. Because when he pitched, the aftermath of that is like the thumb it gets flared up, but after that start, he didn't have any effects on the thumb, which is good news. Again, we're talking about a future first ballot Hall of Famer
Hmm.
here. Every time he touches the rubber on the mound, you'll get excited, and it's still surreal that he's pitching for the Blue Jays, right? So, but
Right.
yeah, we're excited. We're excited for Mad Max.
How many did he had no decision, or did he how many
No,
innings did he
it
go
was a yeah,
in
it was
his
a no
debut?
decision. Yeah, it was a no decision. He left. I believe he left with a score tied 3-3, and then we lost. The Blue Jays lost in extras there.
Okay, he pitched 83 pitches. That's pretty good for his rehab for
Yeah,
first start.
you can't ask for more for that one. Five
No,
innings, three earned runs. So. Yeah, he did his job. Coming off the IL here, hopefully he can build from this and help the Blue Jays here because they badly need like that bottom half of the starting rotation.
yeah, hopefully he continues. I only asked because I think the honeymoon over, at least from a fan perspective, Justin Verlander, um, yeah, fans are starting give it. They have given up on him. Giants fan has given up on him. His last three starts they've been rough. He has 0 wins in his 13 starts in the season. Um, But you might say like, well, like he's pitching 5, 6 innings, only allowing 2 to 3 runs. So it's not. That's not who wouldn't want that, right? If I'm a starting pitcher, going that. But but once again, they're not scoring runs. So it's kind of like the joke is because he has zero wins in the season, and he came to the Giants because he wanted to get to 300. But it's not going to be with the Giants. It's like you might have to get to 300 some other team because they're not doing you any favors right now.
That's actually funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Giants not scoring runs, yeah, he won't get to 300 wins there.
Yeah.
Maybe next year, JB. Maybe next year.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, yeah, this Giants offense needs to pick up. So that's the bottom line. So well, anyways, that is it for another episode of Saturday Sliders. Until next time.
Yeah, thank you for watching this episode of Saturday Sliders. Like Armando said, we'll pick it up next week with our takes on the All Star selections. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you next week.